Defrost Wonder has been around for over 20 years, advertised as a way to quickly thaw meats. But does it really work? That's what I'm going to find out in this review of Defrost Wonder. Picked up Defrost Wonder from Bed Bath & Beyond today. The woman at the counter said she never sees these returned, so maybe it's going to live up to the hype. So today I did my test of Defrost Wonder. The Defrost Wonder advertising starts off with a sort of parlor trick where they place an ice cube on the Defrost Wonder and show that it actually melts faster than other materials. I put the ice cube demonstration to the test using it on Defrost Wonder and a few other surfaces, and it did work faster in Defrost Wonder. That's because the Defrost Wonder is made of aluminum, and that transfers heat faster to the ice cube, which melts faster. That doesn't necessarily translate to foods that have a much more dense and larger surface area than an ice cube does. So for my first test, I tried chicken breast, which the commercial states can be defrosted in 20 minutes or less. Tried that out, and I found it didn't work. My first test is chicken breast. I've got 3 chicken breasts, the same size, all frozen solid. I'm gonna put one in a bowl of cold water in a Ziploc bag, one on the Defrost Wonder, and one on a control pan. I'm gonna run the control pan and the Defrost Wonder under hot water for 30 seconds. And as that's what the Defrost Wonder's instructions say to do, so I'm kind of making it even on the control pan. And then we're going to see if the Defrost Wonder defrosts the chicken breast in 20 minutes or less like the commercial states. All right, so here's what I've got. I've got a chicken breast in a Ziploc bag in cold water, a chicken breast that was on the Defrost Wonder that was run under water for 30 seconds, and a chicken breast on my control pan, which was also run under warm water for 30 seconds, just to make sure that the warm water wasn't a factor that's going to influence it positive. Now for the cold water, the instructions state that you're supposed to switch out the cold water every 30 minutes. That shouldn't be an issue if the Defrost Wonder is done in 20, but let's see what happens. Okay, 20 minutes is up. Let's see how Defrost Wonder did. The part that was in contact with it is actually defrosted, but yeah, the sections that were actually in contact with it are defrosted, but the rest of it is not defrosted. How about the control pan? Control pan, pretty much still frozen, so Defrost Wonder, I guess, outperformed that. Let's see how the chicken in the bowl of water did. Well, it still feels frozen in the center, but the outside seems like it's starting to defrost. So really, as far as this first 20 minutes goes, I think that the bowl of water has outperformed the Defrost Wonder, but I'll leave it on there longer and I'll switch out the cold water as you're supposed to, and I'm gonna see how the Defrost Wonder does. All right, we're at the 1 hour mark, so I think that's probably a good time to stop and see where we're at. This is the chicken on the Defrost Wonder. This is the piece that was in the water. It's starting to defrost. I would say that the chicken in the water and the chicken on the Defrost Wonder are about the same level. They've defrosted about the same amount. The one in the control pan, almost completely frozen, so the Defrost Wonder certainly outperforms just regular pans when you set it out, but it doesn't outperform putting it in cold water. For my next test, I thought maybe something flatter that would have more surface area touching the Defrost Wonder would defrost faster, so I tried Hamburger Patties. Once again, I used a control pan, I used the Defrost Wonder, and I used a bowl of cold water with the food item in a Ziploc bag. I was pretty confident that the Defrost Wonder would win this particular test, but I was wrong. All right, for my next test, it's going to be something a little bit more, I believe, in Defrost Wonder's favor, which are hamburgers. The flat surface in contact with the aluminum surface, I believe, is going to make the Defrost Wonder shine. But we'll see if it actually does better than a bowl of cold water. So let's try that out right now. All right, we've got the control plate, we've got the Defrost Wonder, and we've got the hamburger submerged in water. I'm going to give it about 10-15 minutes, and I'm going to continue to check, and I'll compare. I'm primarily interested in Defrost Wonder versus the bowl of water, but we'll check it out. All right, it's been about 15 minutes. Let's take a look at where we're at. This hamburger I'm going to flip over. It's still pretty frozen, actually. My control hamburger also pretty frozen. And in the water, this one actually feels like it might be defrosted. All right, after 15 minutes, the hamburger is still mostly frozen, except for some surface areas. The hamburger that was submerged in water, look at that. That's defrosted. So surprisingly, the Defrost Wonder didn't even beat the cold water for the hamburger test, and it has much more surface area touching the Defrost Wonder than it did with the chicken test. P.S. The Defrost Wonder hamburger is still thawing, and I've already cooked the one that I thawed in water. So while the Defrost Wonder did outperform just a regular non-aluminum pan, it didn't outperform just putting it in a Ziploc bag in a bowl of water. I've got good news and I've got bad news about Defrost Wonder. The good news is that it does work better than just sticking it on a plate or out on the counter. If you want to leave it out and you have a Defrost Wonder, it will defrost faster. The bad news is that it doesn't really defrost faster than if you just put the food item in a bowl of cold water. And the USDA only has 3 recommended methods for defrosting meat, and that is in a bowl of cold water, in the fridge overnight, or in the microwave. It doesn't really recommend leaving it out because bacteria can form using that method. So if that's not an issue for you and you like to leave it out, Defrost Wonder will work better. But it won't work better, in my opinion, than just using a bowl of cold water. If you have a smaller, thinner piece of meat, it would probably defrost faster than something that's thick. If you have an aluminum baking sheet at home, chances are it'll work just as well because Defrost Wonder is a piece of aluminum. I will say that Defrost Wonder has its fans. A lot of people say it works for them, and that's great. To me, not really better than a bowl of cold water. But if you've used Defrost Wonder and you think that it works, I want to hear from you in the comments below, because I'm certainly not saying that it doesn't work for you. I'm saying it doesn't work for me. To me, Defrost Wonder, I probably wouldn't buy it.